everybody. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the pictures once again, like in the last video, of Where the Wild Things Are illustrations. This is just to give you an idea of the textures that you can use in your monster. You're going to use your review page that we did 2 weeks ago to add in any kind of textures that you would like in your monster's body. That's what we're going to be doing next. Now that we all drew our monster, and again, they looked good, I'm going to go and add my textures into the body. So, to refresh your memory of what we did, and I would take out your previous paper of what you already created in that review. So, your choices now to add in the body of your monster is going to be hatching lines, cross hatching, wavy, zigzag, layered lines, circles and bubbles, which also went along with stone, scales, which also kind of went along with brick. So I'm going to say that these can be separate if you like, or you could just choose one. And then your final choice is dots. Now, you're going to be using these textures within five parts of the body. So the first part, I want a texture in the horns over here. That's your first type of texture. So you're going to pick one of these and you're going to apply it into the horns. After you use one of the textures, I don't want you to use it anymore. The second place I want you to put texture is within the hair. Now, my suggestion for this, since you already used wavy lines, or I'm sorry, maybe you used wavy or zigzag lines, that's a choice too, is to use that wavy zigzag, or maybe you want to use layered lines. But your second texture is going to go in the hair frame around the face. Your third area where you're going to put texture is going to be in the top part of the body. Now, if you remember when I was showing you the pictures, this type of monster had a line that came across his belly, and he had texture within the lower half. So you could do that as well, or you could just do it in the legs. It's up to you. But this is where you're going to put your third texture. Okay, up at the top of within the body. The fourth texture then is going to go within the lower half of the body down here. And finally, your fifth texture, because you're using 5 different ones, will be in the tail. Okay, so that's where you're going to choose out of all of these. You're going to choose 5 of them and put them in the body. I'm going to show you mine in a little bit of a sped up kind of video. Check it out. So you see how in my monster, I ended up using hatching lines, layered lines, cross hatching, the bubbles, and scales. Those were my 5 textures that I used within my monster. I want you to pick 5 different combinations of texture lines as well. After you do that, we're going to outline it with a black Sharpie marker next. So I'm going to outline my monster in a black Sharpie marker, and this is an ultra fine. It's very thin. If you don't have a Sharpie marker like this, that it's very, very thin point at the tip, then don't worry about it. You can actually use just a regular black pen. That'll work as well. I'll just show you that here. Okay, so if you don't have a black Sharpie, no big deal. Don't use those thicker Sharpie markers. You could just go in with a black pen, or actually you can even go with a black colored pencil if you have a black colored pencil as well. Either will work. So I'm outlining that. And as I do my outline of the outside of the body, I'm also going to go in and re-outline my texture lines as well. So once you're done outlining everything in black, I want you to then go back with an eraser, if you have an eraser, and I want you to erase away any of those pencil lines. When you're outlining with the black, don't worry, you don't have to go over every single pencil line. So don't worry about that. Just try to get all your main lines. And once again, after you're done outlining, you're going to erase, get rid of some of those pencil lines, and now you're ready for color. You can go in and pick, I would suggest doing it with colored pencils. So the colored pencils will work best. But again, if you don't have colored pencils, crayon will be fine as well. I don't mind, but if you do have pencils, then I prefer you using that. That's because with the thin tips, you could get in all these white spaces. Now remember, you don't want to go and just color over this whole entire thing and you lose all of that texture that we just created and the whole purpose of this lesson. So I want you to go in and I kind of want you to go in the same direction, but don't press too hard. Remember, this is the black outline is there. This is just to give it a nice overall look. So don't be afraid to just go in gently and apply. If you want to even go back and kind of outline maybe your edges a little bit, that's fine. But you want to go in and color in lightly. And there you have it. There's how I colored in my monster. I don't want you to go and put these circles in with the numbers. I only did that to show you where I wanted you to put the texture, and I kept that in my picture. So I'm erasing that now, but you should not even have that in your picture. You were just going in, drawing your monster, applying the texture, and then outlining and coloring. I also kind of made mine very colorful. I know it doesn't really look that much like Marie Sendak. Now, I also used a lot of color. I know Marie Sendak didn't really use this much color, but that's okay. That's why we're making it our own. So you could go in and pick different colors, 5 different colors, outline it. Just don't press too hard with it where you're covering up any of the line work that you just drew. We're going to stop here for this week. We are finished with our coloring for our monster, and next week we're going to do the background.